to us.
Okay, babe.
Well, good afternoon. Happy lunchtime to everybody. To everybody. I'm just going to go ahead in. Hey, Food Junkie. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Woo, my goodness. I've been off of this thing. Good afternoon, K Got a Body. Candy Jones time. How are you? Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. As you see in the title, Only Being Real. Good afternoon. As you see in the title, wait a minute, what is my title? If someone says you're a horse, Miss Crumb One, good afternoon. Lady Karen, good afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody and welcome. I am Johnny Mac 365 coming to you live. And again, good afternoon. I don't know why this thing is skipping. But anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Cynthia Jones, good afternoon. Okay, let's get into it. If someone calls you a horse, it from a book that I read, which says, if one person calls you a horse, you can disregard it. Two people call you a horse, you somewhat, think about it. But if three people call you a horse, guess what? You have a saddle on your back and you have hay sticking out your mouth. I've been away. Good afternoon, on site April. I was away this weekend, and oh my God, I got some good rest and had a wonderful time where I went. The food was wonderful. The company was absolute top notch. The conversation, the camaraderie, the association, all that was absolutely good. So I basically didn't even check anything about YouTube. But when I did pick up my phone, I was flooded. It was flooded. And there's so many things that I was hearing, especially when I got back, that caused some concern. And it seems that people are not listening. And you have every right not to listen if you don't want to. Let me put it that way. Everybody has a right to make their own choices and do what they feel that they need to do. However, there are boundaries and there are guidelines to our behavior. There are societal norms and rules that govern their responsibilities with what we say and what we do. There are consequences to what we say and what we do. There's something my mother used to say, you may get by, but you will never get away. And for people who profess, and you have to watch people who profess stuff, because a lot of people profess stuff, but they don't possess it. So what I am seeing, or what I saw, was that people were professing to be in relationship with God, and professing to be anointed by God, and professing to be a representative of who God is and what God does. And I find it strange that your behaviors, and then again, I don't find it strange. I find it ironic and just plain a bad example of who you say you are in relation to God. It's a bad example of your representation of God, because your behavior is totally different. I see that Jay Wilson has not learned yet. At 49 years old, almost 50 years old, you are still out here carrying on like someone that has the mentality of a 13, 14, or 15-year-old that has not had proper parental guidance, that you feel it is okay at 50 years old to threaten individuals with bodily harm, to continue to harass people that are not saying anything to you. And let me say this to everybody that's in this chat. Let me say this to everybody in this chat. I'm going to bring up a couple of names, okay? Because usually I try to talk in general and just zero in. And now I'm beginning to feel my help. I talk in general and just go talk about the situation and not the person. But I have watched, and I have been instrumental. Let me say this. I've been instrumental with Joyce Vlogs, with her development and her not being involved with a lot of the craziness. However, Jay Wilson seems to roll her name off of his lips and his tongue as if he's doing fellatio to her name. And it is annoying me, and I need to calm down right now because I'm really getting annoyed. I'm getting annoyed that a 50-year-old man that supposedly has accomplished so much, and you have so much under your belt, you have so many notches of achievement under your belt, that you are acting like a stone cold, uneducated idiot, which is a bad example to people who have a relationship with God, people who are supposed to represent God, people who call themselves preachers or supposed to be preachers. Okay. And it is obvious that you have not had the mentorship to learn how to conduct yourself according to the guidelines and the boundaries. You have overstepped boundaries times and time again. You have overstepped your boundaries times and time again, as if you don't know what boundaries is. Yet on the flip side, you are daring anyone to step to you as if you are that powerful. And all you're going to do is call the police if you get the opportunity. Where I'm from, when you threaten women in New York, and you've lived in New York, so I'm sure you're aware of this. When you threaten women in New York, we have a tendency to come and see you. And usually is after the woman has punched you in your dead in your mouth and realigned your grill. Because in New York, where I'm from, if the woman happens to have on a skirt, what she does, she always has a safety pin in case of emergencies. And what she does is she takes that dress, that skirt, and pulls it up to her waistline and pins it there and gets busy and go toe to toe. Because it appears to me that you're only doing this to women that you feel that you can control and that are afraid of you. And those that are not afraid of you, you seem to, it appears to me that you desire to break them down. And of course, that goes back to your childhood. And it also goes back to, or points to, an inability to accept and handle rejection. Those are mental issues. Be aware. The behavior indicates that there are mental issues that need to be resolved. They need to be resolved. All this money that you are supposed to be making and all this success, you forgot one thing. You have success outward, in your own opinion, because the rest of us, we seem to see something totally different because your behavior doesn't match up with your success. Your mentality doesn't add up to your education. You claim you have degrees, yet You have no self-control. You definitely have no control over your mouth, because whatever comes to your head or whatever swirling around your head, you seem to say it and think that it's okay. And then, and I've said this to you before, Jay Wilson, you have a tendency to spin things to make yourself the victim. And I talked about integrity the other day, and let me pull my paperwork. Let me pull my paper, because there's something I said in here. This is what I said. There is a tendency today to absolve individuals of moral responsibility and treat them as victims of society, of social circumstances. You're trying to make yourself a victim of circumstances. Yet you are absolving yourself of moral responsibility. So now, all that you preach on Sundays is hollow, is dead. It's a dead word from one qualified, licensed, ordained pastor, minister. It's hollow and it has no spirit. It has no spirit. It doesn't make anything alive. It doesn't bring anything to life, Mr. J. Wilson. And I have extended myself to you. I have extended myself to you for conversation. I have extended myself to you for mentorship in the change from 49 to 50. And you have attacked me. You have put my name in your titles. You have addressed me in a very disrespectful manner, and I have said absolutely nothing. And the reason why I've said nothing is not because I'm scared of you. Please don't get it twisted. But if you do have it twisted, let me untwist it for you and make it plain. I fear no man. I don't fear you. I don't fear your crew. And as I've said to certain members of your crew, I would be happy to accommodate any one of you to a conversation. And that also goes for you, Jay Wilson. If you want to have a conversation, reach out to me. This behavior of going after women, every single video, every single day. No, hold on. Let me change that. Let me change that, because see, I've been clocking some numbers. And certain names that come up in your videos, they seem to have a large viewing number. However, when you don't mention those names, I see that your numbers are low. So now, you say you are affording people you're affording people the opportunity to make a coin off of you, when the numbers definitely speak loudly. They speak loudly. They reverberate very loudly that it is you that have been making a coin off of certain names that you continue to roll off your tongue. In my observation, the numbers don't lie. Yes, you need to make a coin. It's not that you want to make a coin, and that's observed by many people, because the same names that are in your mouth are bringing you the coin. Sean Bradley, Tracy Living My Truth, Joyce. And again, you have a tendency to reach back, excuse me, You have a tendency to reach back into the past and pull other people in that you might have had beef with, that you feel are going to get you those numbers, aka S. Hutchinson. Shock value. Whew. And it makes me disgusted. It causes me to be disgusted. I heard in a video by Maturish, there is a difference between a male and a man. A man is responsible. A man has boundaries. A man has self-respect. Please understand, to disrespect anyone, you first have to disrespect yourself. So I cannot expect you to have respect for women because you have none for yourself. People are observing that it is a coward move. It is worse than a coward move to go after women. And again, I've been very quiet. I've observed the issue earlier with, or the campaign of gay men attacking straight women or women, period. And if my recall is accurate, you had something to say about it. You protested that it is not right for a man to go after, a gay man to go after women. Now, unlike the Sean Bradley situations when he and women get into it, and if anyone observes this, please put a 1 in the chat. I have never seen, and this is not, let me preface this, this is not to cape for Sean Bradley. It is what it is, and it is out there for you to research. It's fact. I have never observed Sean Bradley just coming for any woman because he felt he could. I've always noticed that it is a response to what has been done or said to him. And again, if you observe, it is not always an immediate response to what a woman does to him. It is usually a delayed reaction, which, let me explain that. It is usually when he has gotten to a point where the person keeps coming for him. He may say, all right, leave me alone. Leave Sean Bradley alone. And after a certain amount of times, he gets fed up and he addresses the situation. And again, please listen to my verbiage. Listen closely. Let me say it slowly for all of those in the back and in the bushes that don't quite get it. It is a response. It is a response to. That's what I've observed. But you, on the other hand, you have this thing for certain women that you feel that you can conquer. I'm not sure how that ill has gotten into your character and personality, but it is very revealing that there was a problem in your youth with both rejection from women. It appears to me from my observation, because you have said in the past that when you beef with somebody, it's 1 or 2 days and then it's over. I cut off this machine and everybody is shut out. I don't carry it. However, since July 12th, you have been going on and on and on and on and on. And see, here is the guilt. Here is the guilt. You take down the videos so that your narrative that you're trying to spin, people will believe it when they go back into your catalog and can't find those dates. So yeah, it will look like 24 hours after Tracy was going in on you. But if an individual watches Tracy's live for that particular time, they will see that it was at least 24 hours before she responded. At least 24 hours she did not respond, and you kept going. After Joyce apologized and you gave an apology. So now, if Joyce apologized and you apologized, why are you still running it in the ground? It is pathetic. It is pathetic. Let me say that one more time. It is so pathetic. And the way that it looks from somebody from the outside looking in that has the ability to critically think, they look at it and they're like, well, wait a minute. What could these women have done so drastically, so damaging to you, that you continue, even when nobody is acknowledging you? Joyce has not really been acknowledging you at all. At all. Sean Bradley really has not been acknowledging you. And when Tracy doesn't say anything about you or at you, you still have those names rolling off your lips like they're your name rather than theirs. And then it causes me to believe that saying that I dreaded accepting for so many years. Mental health issues in the Black community is real. And you are becoming the poster child. You are very well contestant number one. You are fixated and have a pit bull hold on certain individuals on here. And you continue to be redundant. But I understand it's because you're an actor, self-proclaimed, let me put that, self-proclaimed actor, and you need the money. And let me tell you what I observe in that. I observe that there is, or it is stemming from, a desperate man, a desperate male. It shows me that you are desperate. And though you say you are a you are not a one-trick pony, it shows me that you are not only the pony with the saddle on your back and the hay in your mouth, but you are a trick. Yes, a trick. You lack the creativity to create. You lack the gumption and the motivation to get up and do anything else. You've become complacent and content in the gutter. It's like an addict. You've become addicted to easy, something for nothing. Little work, big payout. Everybody is messy. We all have mess in us. We all can be messy. We all enjoy ratchet to a point. But when we give up our soul, what should it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? But then there's another part of that scripture that says, what will a man give in exchange for his soul? At this point, not only have you sold your soul, but you have given your soul in exchange for a coin, for a false reputation built upon negativity and chaos, which will not last. Your time is coming to an end. And let me tell you something. Let me say this to you. People that have been observing this are just as disappointed, hurt, disgusted, and discouraged by your behavior. They have been. And I'm sure even some of the people in your chat, because if there are any women in your chat, any women in your that supports you, sees this kind of behavior and thinks it is okay, there are mental issues that need to be addressed. If you can be comfortable with a male screaming and yelling at people, at women, and you condone that kind of behavior, it says to me that you are very much a victim of abuse, and you accept that kind of behavior and that kind of treatment. Now, I have sat over in my corner and let my light shine in my corner where I am. Because basically, I see, let me say this. I understand that people do not change behaviors until they hit rock bottom. And these individuals that are all involved in this situation, the bullying, the harassment, the stalking, because I don't care what you say. You can try to reason it. You can try to technicalize it, but it is what it is. You stalked, you took pictures, then you went to other platforms and paid to advertise and to involve other people in your mess. You did that. You've gotten these strange alliances. Strange for a man your age. You have these particular alliances that really make no sense for a grown male approaching 50. And then that's another issue. That's another issue. That's another issue. I guess I'm on a roll today. I really, really didn't want to do this at all. But here's another issue. With all the experience that you have, with all the things that you've done, why are you 50 with an education, with the sheepskins. Because at this point, 49, 50, we begin to look towards retirement. And then maybe you have that all set up. Maybe you have all that set up. But your working career is inconsistent. It's no real pattern. It's no real investment in my observation. No real investment with a determination. Because at 50, basically, you should be coasting towards your retirement. And it shouldn't be a struggle. It shouldn't be a hassle. There should have been a planning that took place. There should have been a preparation that took place that at 50, I know where I am. I know what I have to do. And I have a timeline. I have a timeline that this is what I'm going to do until here. And then I'm going to relax and coast until my retirement. I'll say this again. I am grateful. I am grateful to God. I am thankful to God. God, I thank you for the decisions that He helped me to make in my 20s. Let me say that again. In my 20s, that afforded me the great and fabulous opportunity to retire in my 40s. And you can say whatever you want about me, dude. I got mine. And if I want to work, I will work. If I don't want to work, I don't have to. And there are a lot of opportunities to go back into the careers that I had. Theater, I still have a working manager. And anytime that I feel like I want to do something, I get on the phone. I still have a cosmetology license that I've had for over 30 years. And if I feel like it, I can pick up a curling iron, a flat iron, a bottle of shampoo, a bottle of conditioner, turn on a dryer, do a couple of heads, and have pocket change. However, this YouTube, as I say every time I do Wednesday Word, every time I do Thank You Thursday, and every time I do a Sunday service, I do not dry beg, I do not wet beg, because if you want to give, it is accepted in the spirit in which you give it. However, I'm not depending upon Cash App or Super Chat. And it is not my job. It is not my calling. It is not my anointing to do the church okie doke and goop the children. To get them to give. Sad situation. However, I have no nickel in the quarter. So I'm just expressing some things that just sort of gnaw at me. Because again, I have no unreal expectation of you. So I'm not disappointed. That's why I can walk away. That's why I don't have to go back and forth. I'm not desperate. I'm not desperate. So therefore, I don't have to go back and forth with you, but I will. I will do this. I will take pleasure in affording you the opportunity for a conversation, either in New York or in Texas, because I got the time. If you got the beer, I've got the time. Now, you have put my name in your title. Yes, it's since you like to live in the past, you've put my name in your title in the past. And that's okay. You got a cute little coin. But dude, at this point, it is very much time. It is very much time because time is running out. You don't have that much time left. We are going into harvest season. And oh my goodness, it's reaping season. Everything you've been planting, the behind the scenes, all that behind the scenes stuff that has been transpiring, that you really think that nobody sees. I said once before, I see you. I see you. I see you. And I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray for the fact that you disrespect God. You have no reverence for God. You mock God. And you use him to try to justify your behavior. I wreak havoc and then I repent and I call on and I said, thank you, Lord, and all this kind of stuff. And it's okay. No. People that see it on the outside might feel that, all right, he's all right with God and God forgives him. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, which means letting it go. Letting it go. Getting rid of the weight. You are so weighted down. You're so bound that it is taking a toll on your health. You don't look the same. Your weight, you can't lose the weight because you're bound. I don't care how many times you could go to the gym 3 times a day. Because you are out of control, everything connected with you is out of control. Your weight is out of control. Your mouth is out of control. Your attitude is out of control. You wanted the attention, you got it. You got the attention that you wanted. In your own words, you got what you wanted. I gave you what you wanted. Everybody's been giving you what you wanted. You've got the attention. You think you're famous. No, you're infamous. Because everything that is connected to your name is negative. It is dark. It is evil. It is satanic. It is satanic. And every devil knows God. Let me say that so that people don't misunderstand. Every devil knows God, and every devil gets permission to do whatever he does from God, because the devil cannot do anything without God's permission. So I'm going to say this to Joyce. I'm going to say this to Tracy. I'm going to say this to Shelly. This man loves the attention. He loves the attention. Rather than getting the attention in a positive way, he loves the attention. That's how narcissists are. But when you ignore them, because you see, once I ignored him, once I ignored Jay Wilson, you never heard my name in his mouth again. Because frankly, that man knows that he is not on my level. There is no comparison. He's not on my level. That's why he won't come for a man, because he's intimidated by men. He feels inferior to men, but he feels superior to women. And that raising his voice evokes fear in them. And they won't stand up to him. Every woman that he's had a problem with has stood up to him and won't bow down. And see, here's the example of the meaning of stupidity. And tell me if you follow me by putting a 2 in the chat. This man has continued to do the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result each time. He has gone after Tracy. He has gone after Sean Bradley. He has gone after Wiley. He has gone after Tim Blaine. He has gone after Shelley. Now, these people have not bowed down to him. They have not cowered to him. But he keeps expecting them to break. That is stupidity. And furthermore, much more than that, that is a disconnect mentally with reality. What had happened was, just sit back and analyze it all. Just observe it all. Let it flow past, and you'll see what I'm saying. You'll see exactly what I'm saying. You'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Because most folks on here do not expect you to observe their behavior and balance them with their word. They don't expect you. They expect you that when you see something, you go right in and not think it through. So it becomes funny. It becomes a joke. It becomes sensational TV. Wherein they're getting the numbers out of it. They're getting the coins out of it. And I just love the way, Jay Wilson will flip something so obviously into a lie and paint himself as such a victim of people that he attacks on an ongoing, continuous basis. And then when you go back to look at for the videos where he did his dirt are either gone or privatized. They're on private. So the new people coming in believe by what they see that he's being attacked and he's the victim, and they support the victim mentality or the victim narrative, when in actuality, he's the wolf in sheep's clothing. And then they play into it, absolving him of all responsibility and making him the victim. and they support this behavior. The Bible calls it the blind leading the blind, and they all fall into the ditch. It's just a matter of time. As I said before, the hands of the clock keep winding. They keep going around the clock. Time is running out. Now, Jay Wilson, you can't go back. You can't go back in time and correct everything that has been done out of sync or has been done wrong, if you will. The choices you made cannot be changed, but you can start from this moment on. You can start from this moment on. Go back to your first love. Repent. If you've ever had a relationship, go back to where you left your first love, where you left your relationship. Go back and pick it up and let him work on you from the inside out. Let him regulate your mind. Let him guide you to the help that you need. Because in my observation, even if you did get these degrees online, it took work, it took some sacrifice. So you know how to sacrifice. You know how to build. You know how to survive. Tap into that. Tap into that. It may be embarrassing, but it's okay. We understand because we've all been there. We've all been there. But at the rate you are going, the hands of the clock are winding down. You're playing Russian roulette. You're playing Russian roulette. And the time is short that somebody's going to answer you with actions that speak louder than words on the screen. You have gone too far. You've stayed too long. And you haven't even tried to get back. I just pray that God gives you the opportunity, because at this point, if I was God, I'd be very disappointed and very embarrassed. Mostly embarrassed that you would represent me to my people in this fashion. That you would call yourself my representative. And you're trying to destroy people with threats and all this kind of stuff. If Tracy has not given in at this moment, after all this time, there should be a voice telling you. There should be a voice telling you, maybe I made the wrong decision. Let me get myself under control. Because if there's anybody that has gotten you out of control on here, in plain sight, on the screen, Tracy, Joyce, and Sean Bradley. You have given up your power. You have given up your power. You think you have power, but you've given up your power a long time ago. Once you did not stop, and once you did not get what you wanted, and I've said the same thing to you, you get angry when you don't get what you want from someone. I called this out a long time ago. And that's not a brag or a boast. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you have an issue with me, reach out to me. You have an issue with anything I'm saying in this video, reach out to me. And I will be happy to accommodate you with the conversation. Whether you fly to New York or whether I fly to Texas, I've got the time. I have the time. Believe you me. I can fly in and we can talk, and I can fly back out. Not a problem. Again, because this is not my full source of income. I don't depend on YouTube for my life sustenance. And that's a sincere invitation. Choice is yours, balls in your court. Whatever you decide to do, I'm cool with it. But I will say this. I am getting, as a man of a certain maturity, of a certain age, your behavior is unacceptable, it's inappropriate. And as for the LGBTQI community, it is unbelievably casting a shadow over the relationship and the acceptance of the LGBT community. You are doing more harm than you are good, because it's creating a certain mentality in people's minds that gay men and women, straight or otherwise, don't get along. And that is not every gay man or every gay woman's experience. That's not every straight woman's and gay man's experience. It is not true. But it is being perpetuated by your behavior, by your rants, by your constant bullying. And I'm not even going to say dragging, because I have to agree with Tim Blaine. It's very elementary what your rags and roasts, your gags and roasts. They're very elementary, extremely, for a man to have the degrees that you have. For a man to have the degrees that you have, the verbiage that you use, the things that you say, and the way that you say them, the context that you use them in, is totally infantile. They are extremely infantile. Believe me. I appreciate everybody that has come into the chat. And I don't usually do this, but sometimes things just get on your nerves and you have to express them. Sometimes you have to express them. So please thumbs up this video. If you are not part of the Mac Association, it will only cost you free 99 to subscribe. And again, I thank everyone that has come in and that has allowed me to get this out. Yeah, I appreciate you all. I appreciate every subscriber and every content creator that is in the chat. Maturish, my moderator, 6 of 7, my moderators, all of my moderators, I appreciate you and thank you so much. Thank you so very much for being here and for doing a great job moderating. And to everybody that's here, I appreciate you all and thank you. Now, as is customary, I decree and declare love unto you, more love than your hands can hold, more love than your mind can conceive, and more love than your heart can feel. Why? Because God said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. And then Jesus backed it up and said, I'm not changing anything. I'm not bringing no new commandments, but I will say this. Love God with your heart, whole heart, your mind, your spirit, with your whole entire being. And then love your neighbor as yourself. So when you love, you keep all the commandments. Again, I bid you a good afternoon, and I declare and decree love in your life, and that your life and your day will never be the same. Love you and enjoy the rest of your day.